Right, Tim. Well, firstly, how's the last couple of days been for you, being back over in Sydney again in between these two games?
Yeah, it would have liked to have been a bit more enjoyable time, but we've lost two on the bounce. So I think any football club, it becomes a little bit more tougher experience. But look, yeah, the beauty about football is we get to play again this weekend and hopefully turn those two results around.
Yeah, it's the quick turnaround help with that. You've got something to quickly turn your attentions to.
Yeah, 100%. You don't dwell on the past performances too much. But you got to tap into what went wrong in those two performances, and yeah, look forward to the weekend and turn our focus to that, which is a positive thing in regards to kind of pushing those away and forgetting about them. Yeah.
Has there been much of a review, a debrief of Sunday's game?
I think just with the short turnaround, we haven't done too much. I think as a playing group, we've probably let ourselves down the last 2 weekends, been in a great position in the league to go and perform in those two ways. In those last two games, it's just massively disappointing. I think for us as a collective, it's about putting a whole team performance, a collective performance on this weekend.
Yeah, with those games, I know speaking to Ufuk over the last week, he says that the side struggled with the whole expectation and I suppose the added pressure on the team this season. Do you feel that's the case, or what do you put down those last couple of performances down to?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think, as Ruth said just earlier, we've lost a lot of points from leading positions, so you can't really argue with that point that he's making. But look, I think we look at all the games and all the situations that we've conceded goals in. The majority of the time, they're coming from our mistakes or our naivety and periods of the game where potentially we're losing the ball in bad places, or we don't have good rest defense underneath our attacking shape and things that I think we can definitely change as a team and be more focused on when we are in those leading positions. And it's also about, I guess, being even more positive when we go up 1-0. It's about being more confident. It's a chance to go 2, 3, 4-0 up. And I think we've got to have that mentality and that mindset to want to be up there in the top 4 teams and not just be a team that's battling around the top 6. And we need to keep putting on performances and keep killing off teams if that's what we want to do this season.
How much do you think you've missed Scott Wooten over the last few weeks as well? I suppose in particular his voice and his communication at the back.
Yeah, of course, Scotty's, his resume speaks for himself. He's a fantastic player, fantastic leader in the squad. He's played at the highest level, and so whenever you lose a player of his caliber, it's obviously going to be a detrimental to the team as a whole. And look, I think he's pretty close to coming back, so we're excited to have him back when he does come back into the side.
Yeah, has he been back on the training pitch, and is there some hope that he could be able to return on Friday?
Yeah, I think his injury is recovering pretty well. I'm not too sure how close he is to the weekend or not. That'll be the medical staff and office decision, but yeah, I think he's tracking along pretty well.
Yeah, and Western United in particular, what have you made of them? And as I asked Alex, do you still have any memories of that day in November when we last played them?
Yeah, I remember the game, obviously. But yeah, look, again, like we talked about before, we don't tend to dwell too much on previous games and past results. Obviously, we touched on things that we can do better on, but it's all about focusing on this next game, and this next game is obviously against them. But they're reigning champions. They're reigning champions for a reason. Obviously, they haven't performed as well this season, but they've got a whole lot of quality inside in their team, which can beat anyone on their day. And so, we have to. We talk about it all the time. There's no easy games in the ALeague. They're going to be another great challenge for us, and we have to play well for 95 minutes.
And do you think it's going to help staying over in Oz before this game? I suppose not making the travel quite as bad as it would usually going to Tasmania?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, there's other complications or things that become tougher being away from families and stuff like that for a week. But yeah, look, to not have the flight the day before, and of course going to Tasmania, you've got 2 flights. So I think being settled here and just a little trip across the day before from Sydney will only help us. But look, they're all excuses, and they're all things that we can use to make it a little bit more difficult. But at the end of the day, we've got a whole 11 players, and they have to do the same thing when we come to New Zealand. So look, it's something that we don't try and worry too much about, and just put a performance on the park.